You are about to enjoy a perennial border with pops of interest tucked in with other structures to give you that beauty from spring into fall and winter. I have to tell you, remember standing here with you behind the largest summon substance I've ever seen.
Thank you.
What do you do to it?
Well, actually, I don't do anything at all. I don't fertilize, I don't do anything. I do try to water it when it's really hot and dry. I try to give it some extra water. But other than that.
Well, and you've taken this threesome of plants, I'll say, it's two, summon substance, but then you have this ligustrum. What is this one?
That's sunshine ligustrum.
It's beautiful, and it has that, it echoes that chartreuse color. And then you got some dirt, and now you have something else in here. That's gonna last till frost, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
What are those plants?
This is the dragon's breath celosia. Is
Yes,
that how you say that?
yes.
And then the portulaca.
And that's a double portulaca.
There's the yellow and the pink. They're both double.
As beautiful as this is, I think I can find more beauty. The first thing I see as I come in the driveway,
Oh.
your wonderful limelights, and aren't we blessed that they are starting to bloom now?
Yes.
Other things are fading in the garden, but the hydrangea, the limelight is fantastic. Now you've got other plantings over there. What did you choose to go with them?
We have the coral drift roses, and they pretty much bloom nonstop all summer in between Japanese beetle bouts. Then I also have just planted this year some of the denim and lace Russian sage, and then we have blue star juniper, just some other evergreens.
And excuse me, I love that blue star juniper. It's very compact, and I don't think I've really noticed any spider mite or bagworms. Have you?
No, it's done very well. And then we've also added the fire chief arbor vitae, and I like that color because it's.
I see it.
Yeah, it's just a pop of color.
Well, you can't hold me back any longer. I'm going to go see something else in your yard.
All right.
I believe that Mimra Searles wanted a border, didn't she?
I did.
And she wanted perennials.
I had lots of flowers, and I needed somewhere to contain them and not necessarily organized so that everything would be in one spot.
Yes. And you know you have good coverage because the more you cover that soil with pretty flowers, the less you have to weed, didn't
Right.
it? Well, and walking along here, I definitely spot so many varieties of plants in here, but today let's look at what we've got going on today.
Okay.
And I like these, the daylilies. Some people call those ditch don't they?
lilies.
And they're the double ones. But then I see a pop of color that'll be here after these are gone. Now, what have you put in that?
Right. Those are some people call that mandevilla, but it's actually a diplodenia.
Diplodenia.
And then it has the oregano in front.
The Cuban oregano.
Yes. And so it's just, I like to add the annuals in with the perennials because with perennials you've got the blessing of them coming back
Right.
every year, but they have a shorter bloom time. So I like to add the annuals so that I have a pop of color.
Okay. You've stuck another.
Some coleus in a pot there.
Right.
Yes.
Those are beautiful varieties.
I try to take cuttings and overwinter them in my greenhouse, and so that I have a great supply and a variety of coleus.
So that's the thing. You've got to grow.
Yes.
Whether it's January or July. Now tell me about this. This is a cute little object.
Oh, thank you. This is a little garden structure that my husband made for me using old windows.
I think you have solar lights in there.
I do, and so at night it's got a little glow out here in the garden.
Oh, that's neat. This is glorious. This is a native perennial, isn't it?
Yes, phlox, and it's very happy in here. In fact, I've been digging it up and giving some away this year because I have so much.
Well, and you know, with this border being 6 feet wide, you've got some airflow in here, and you know that's what causes some of this powdery mildew gets on plants, and so not being too dense, that helps. But you know, this plant, if you cut it back, it'll probably give you another
right.
cycle of blooms, won't it?
Yes, it does.
And then can't help but notice that you've got a container here. Now, what have you got in it?
This is a sapphire indigo clematis. It's not the climbing clematis, it's a bush clematis.
Yeah, I see it, and I see the bloom over there.
Yeah, it's already had one flush of blooms, and so there's several buds. It's about to have its second.
Well, in order to get that second flush of blooms, did you trim it or anything, or is it just?
I did trim it, yes.
And I see you, Flock likes to volunteer.
Yes, I've got flocks volunteering.
That's wonderful.
Everywhere.
I love plants that want to volunteer. And remember, I know that's a spring flower.
It is. It actually bloomed this spring, and then I don't know why, but it's giving me a second bloom.
That's a beautiful
And
columbine.
Yes, I'm very excited for that.
I definitely wouldn't want you to just put one pot of these out there. I love the second one over here and how it starts this part of your border.
Yes.
And right here, that is a magnificent watering can, but I'd rather you talk about that.
Well, that is, some people call that a black elephant ears, but it's an alocasia. And there's just a subtle difference between the two. Overwinter those bulbs actually in a paper sack in my utility room, and then I
just yank them up, take the dirt off.
Just lift them and put them in a paper bag, and then in the spring I put them in dirt. When they start getting some moisture, they start growing, and so I'll have those in the greenhouse for a little while.
Okay, what is this?
This is a crinum lily, and this actually came from my grandmother's.
A pass-along
Yes,
plant.
years ago. In fact, so many of my plants in here are pass-along plants.
I love that.
I have so many memories of people that have given me the plants, the crinum lilies, and they're kind of at the end of their peak. They have been just glorious this year, but anyway, I'm glad there's a few blooms.
What hasn't been glorious this year?
Yes, we had so much rain.
I know
first.
it. And then there's that same dipladenia to carry your color down through the border when some of this other color is gone. Well, this has another side to it with different flowers. Let's flip-flop.
All right.
And now we've reached the southern side of this border.
Yes, actually the northern side faces the house, but the flowers tend to want to follow the sun.
Absolutely.
So we have access to both sides.
And this
I like it.
this beauty I love.
Yes, this is meteor verbena, and some people call it lollipop because it has these round balls at the end, and this self-sows every year.
Yeah, just like that Queen Anne's lace, she's so pretty.
Yes.
I love that in
I
there.
do too.
Now, I see some contrasts back here.
Yes.
You've achieved that.
We have a black diamond crepe myrtle, and then the yellow vine is a Fiona sunrise jasmine.
And do you keep that?
That stayed in the ground. This is its second year. It stayed in the ground last year and came back strong. So I meant to take a cutting last year and I didn't, and I was worried, but it made it just fine.
And you know, as I stand here with you, I can't imagine this garden without the vertical structures that you've put in. I love all of these plants, but there's something towering above that just gives majestic look to all of this border.
I like to add some height instead of just having everything flat. I think it gives visual interest.
Absolutely, gives it a dimensional look. And then I find some more little cute things over here. There's some more of your coleus, but right down here now, you don't often see pineapple lilies that you've got there. Do you keep those in the ground?
Yes, those have stayed in the ground, and along with the bronze fennel that's growing behind it. I liked the laciness of the fennel, and then the blooms are a plus for sure.
Okay, we're going to finish this final quadrant right here with some magnificent flowers that are, to me, they signal this summer. So tell us about this lily.
This is called a tree lily. And actually, they grow to be about 6 feet tall, and you can see this one wants to lean, but
yes.
I'm 5'4", so you can tell as the blooms open, they just keep getting taller and taller.
And they smell?
And they smell heavenly.
That they do.
They really, really do.
They really do. And then this is that incredible?
That is Annabelle.
Oh, she's big.
She is, and I'm wondering if she was mislabeled.
Well, I don't know. Her site, her location, and how, you know, she's got the right exposure. She could get that big. Now, here's another pop of color that you wouldn't have without an annual.
Right. The coleus are just so, I really enjoy using those because the Japanese beetles don't like them, so
That's
I don't
good to
have to
know.
use pesticides.
Yes, and you've got some lady in red salvia.
Yes, and
Okay.
and then this is Mahogany Splendor hibiscus, and I love the foliage on it. Everyone thinks it's a Japanese maple, but it's not.
Well, we just can't help but come right to this little hydrangea.
Yes, and this is Bobo.
Bobo?
Yes.
He's about to outgrow his place too.
He is. I don't know. They're just incredibly happy here.
As I stand here with you, Mimra, I want to tell you that to see what you've accomplished, because you are a true gardener, you put the work and the labor in it, and you have lots of knowledge, and you have created a thing of beauty, not just for spring and summer. You continue your growing through the whole year, and to me, that takes a lot of expertise. And I thank you that you've shared this with us.
Well, it was very nice. I enjoyed sharing it.
Well, it's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.